You know, I honestly don't know where to begin. First, I haven't made videos in, I don't know, maybe 2 months or so because I finished medical school. I'm studying for my medical license. And also, I got accepted to do a master's degree in neurology, specifically in research in neurology into memory systems and antidepressants. So I'm very excited about that because it lays the groundwork for when I go do my residency in psychiatry. I can focus more on things like PTSD and whatnot, which allows me to better understand the underlying mechanisms that constitute what we poorly understand as memory. So I will try, I'm going to really try to make at least one video once a week because so much is happening. And a lot of it is political BS. Most people, it comes and goes. Most people don't pay attention. But what happened today, man, I really don't understand. And I'm very worried. I'm very worried about this country. So let me recap. So today in California, of all places, of course, it had to be California, the murderer of Kate Steinle was acquitted. This is, I don't understand this, right? We know the guy shot her. His excuse was, I found a gun in a wrapped around in a shirt. I opened the shirt to see what, I'm not making you this up, by the way. Go and check this. This is what he actually said. The first thing he said, he was shooting seals. Then he had to change his story, and this was the new story. I opened the shirt up, and the gun started firing. Maybe it had bump stocks, right? The gun just started firing. I was shocked. I threw it into the river, or into the ocean, into the bay. And then I just walked away, not knowing I had shot and killed somebody. Meanwhile, Kate Steinle, who was out with her family on July 1st, just enjoying an evening, gets hit, turns to her father and says, "Dad, I can't breathe," closes her eyes and dies in his arms. Meanwhile, this asshole was deported 5 fucking times. I mean, fuck me, 5 fucking times. And I can't fucking understand. And people are like, don't build a wall. No, this is the fucking reason why. Because it's not just her. There have been so many. And when does this fucking end? When we invite the rest of the fucking world to come live with us? This is what liberals need to understand. We're getting to a point where our differences are going to be irreconcilable. When we reach that point, the only logical conclusion is war. We don't want this. How? Just how the fuck? Acquitted on first-degree murder. Acquitted on second-degree murder. Acquitted on involuntary manslaughter. Ha ha. He's only acquitted on gun possession. But they said the gun wasn't his. So how the fuck was he going to be acquitted on gun possession, right? Jesus. So what happens when you go out with your family? You know what's going to happen? It's going to happen, and I'm going to be called a racist. I'm going to be called everything. I don't care. Call me whatever you want to. This is what's going to happen. When I go out and I see a white person, I don't tend to worry. When I go out and I see a black woman, I don't worry. When I go out and I see a black man between the ages of 14 and 25, I worry. You know why? Because they commit over half the crime. That's why I fucking worry. That is, you can go check that shit for yourself, right? It's not a racist statement. It's reality. And when I see an immigrant, what am I going to think? I'm going to think I need to be fucking careful. That's what I'm going to think. You can't say, oh, you're racist against Hispanics. I was born in Puerto Rico. My mother's from Cuba. Can't get more Hispanic than that. Unless you want to say, well, that's the Caribbean, that doesn't count, right? The problem is that Hispanic men also commit a large portion of the crime. Is it as large as African American men? No, not even close. But it's significant. You can't tell which is the immigrant and which isn't. This is going to lead to more discrimination and racism. Ironically, you're fostering racism by pushing this. How is it that 12 people can sit, listen to a story, I unwrapped the shirt and the gun fired by itself? Oh, wow. Magical gun. Just pew, pew, magic. But sir, I didn't do it because, you know me, I'm just an immigrant. I'm an immigrant, I didn't do it. And his lawyer, who's also Latino, said, if you were, he said? If this were a person from Sweden, would you have convicted him, or would you convict him the same? Would he be going through the same exact system? Well, if he had been a white person from Sweden, the probability of him committing the crime, well, I'm probably more likely to get hit by a car than that to happen. That's just statistically the truth. Because you don't have those kinds of crimes in Sweden, except from the Muslim minority they're letting into the country. I don't know. I don't fully understand what's going on. I'm trying, damn it, I really am trying to understand. But this gets me really upset because where do we go as a country? When half the country says, transgender this, transgender that, more immigrants, DACA, amnesty. Do you think it'll stop with that? It's not going to stop with that. When they're telling, and you can see story after story after story, pedophilia is just a sexual orientation, nothing more. Look, and when they say, you cannot assign a gender to a baby at birth because you don't know how that baby identifies. What you're witnessing is the creation of a religion on the left. This is the evangelical left. It's not about science, because science is very, very clear on many issues, such as transgender is a mental illness. In fact, they're not even clear on homosexuality. That was never proven. Instead, what they did was shift the burden of proof over, which was not the correct thing to do, and then they would stop all research. Because if I want to do research, honest research, as to whether homosexuality is normal or not, I'll get fired. I'll lose my job. So, again, this is just a creation of an evangelical left, nothing more. Man, here's the problem, and here's my prediction. And I want every liberal, especially if you know me personally, I want you to be careful and think about this. It's not that we're asking for you to give up your liberal ideologies. It's that we're asking you to come to the table, sit down, and let's agree. And if we disagree, let's find some middle ground that is at least not as disagreeable to all of us. I mean, how many rapists, pedophiles, and sexual deviants in Hollywood lectured us on morality about Trump? And yet look at what they've done. How many news anchors from CNN, MSNBC, NPR, NBC, how many times did they tell us this guy's a bigot, he's a sexist, he's a misogynist, while they were raping women and touching them in the back, right? In the back room. These are the people that were lecturing us? Al Franken? How many Democratic senators? And yeah, there's a few Republican ones. Not excusing those. Those guys need to go too. On Roger Moore, show me the evidence. 40 years in public life. Not one single accusation. Franken actually had to pay out. Senator Franklin had to pay out money from a Senate fund Do you know what that means? That means that asshole used our tax money to pay off women he sexually touched in an inappropriate way with our tax money. That's what that means. Where's Antifa getting pissed off at this? Some of the women were black. Where's Black Lives Matter getting pissed off at this? That's right, because they don't get paid to do these kinds of protests. Meanwhile, yesterday the stock market reached 24,000 for the first time in history. What is it, the fourth or fifth record? Unemployment is at a 26-year low. More jobs have been created in the first year of Trump's presidency than in all the years of Obama. Is he perfect? No, but the Senate is not perfect. And that's where the problem is. It's in the Senate, particularly John McCain, Lindsey Graham, and I forgot the Republican, the woman from Alaska, Senator Corker, dear God, and of course, all the Democrats. So you want to know why we can't have nice things in this country? Because we don't deserve them. Look, we're headed for one hell of a catastrophe. And there are always enemies at the gate. There are always enemies ready to invade and destroy us. China's licking its lips. Russia's licking its lips. Radical Islam already has a strong control in Europe. And by 2050, they will be majority in some European countries. Future is not good. We had a chance. We had a chance for one hell of a golden world. More people now are out of poverty than any time in human history. More people are connected than in any time in human history. We could have paradise. But when you blind yourself, and you say, well, only my group matters, regardless of, but then you subjugate yourself, as the left is doing to Islam, as the left is doing to feminism, as the left is doing to Marxism, with tearing away all identity. And mark my words, next, well, not next, but soon, will come the assigning of identity. Because if they could, they would take away all the guns from conservatives and they would put us in concentration camps or gulags. We've seen this how many times? But I guess we haven't paid with enough bodies. So Kate Steinle, rest in peace, and man, I'm fucking sorry. I'm fucking sorry that asshole's probably going to kill somebody else. But the left got its victory. And those 12 people, I don't know how they're going to sleep tonight. But they're probably going to sleep very good because they probably don't give a shit. Because this is a big F you to Trump and sanctuary cities. A sanctuary city victory. Sometimes I feel that maybe we should give California to Mexico. Take away our military, take away our resources, and just say, take it. Fuck it. That's it. And then crack down on the rest of the country and make sure we bring it back in line. I don't know what else to say. So, that's it. In the comments below, tell me what you feel. Whether you think that this was just, please justify it for me. And tell me what you think will happen. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think we won't have a war? I don't know how long it'll be. It'll definitely be in my lifetime. I no longer fear World War III. I fear the American Revolution, or the American Second Civil War. Although it will be a revolution of sorts. God bless all of you. And more importantly, God help us all. Goodbye.